Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see who we've got here. We have Salooms71. Says Sub Al Khair. Miran. Hope you're having a good tea day. Well, actually, thank you very much for that, and glad that you're here. I'm having um, kombucha, raw kombucha. It's amazingly tasty. Mm, GT's Synergy Original. What's the brand? Is this the brand? Synergy? Okay, I guess they could now sponsor us because we like it. Yummy. So we have Aman is here, uh, and male 20 male India. Thank you for that. Salooms, don't forget the protocol as well. And Haidong says, hello, Mer. What about the rest of my name? Mehran? Mehran? Was this supposed to be Mister? Anyhow, good of you to be here. Thank you for that. And don't forget the protocol, age, gender, where you're tuning in from, just like Aman did. Male, M for male, F for female. However you signify your gender, then age, 20 or 30 or whatever, then the place, India or France or Japan or wherever, Iran. And then we have vascular potato. The reason I laugh because whenever in my in where I was born and raised till I left, the cultural expression for using potato is when someone really doesn't have much vein and blood and stability and foundation. So we say you're like potato, like you've got no blood, no conviction or anything. But this one says vascular potato, so it's very funny and uh, good humor. Matthew says little 28 Prince Albert. Oh, little Matthew Little. Oh, okay. Is that the last name or you're just being saying little? Okay, Matthew 28 Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. All right. The breadbasket of the world, Saskatchewan. And David Hart is here. My goodness, David, how have you been? David says, you really helped me after my breakup with a personal session I'll never forget. My pleasure, David. You're a great guy. Enjoyed talking to you. And I see some of your pictures on Facebook and your family, and obviously you love them and you take good care of them and you have a cohesive relationship with them. That's beautiful. Glad that you could make it, and thank you for the kind words. And my favorite girl from Texas is here. And Val, I'm sorry last time you had a question, but I'd already closed up. And usually, mum is the word once I say, I love you all, and then the rest of the things, and say, be nice to each other and all that. Whatever I say at the end, I don't remember. I'll remember it at the end. So I couldn't come back and see what question you had, but I'm here if you have to, if you want to wish, if you wish to ask. And Haidong says 32 male New York. Oh, New York. Okay. All right. Great. And all right. So let me just have another sip of this. Mm. I'm a little lazy tonight. You know, one of those times that you just want to be home, have soup and tea and stuff. But maybe it's because I've been going to the gym and doing good workouts, sore and stiff and kind of, but I still have another 10 kilometer to do tonight for my walk. And maybe I go to the gym afterwards. But I don't know. Maybe I should be lazy and just stay home. Anyway, Aman says, she makes fun of me coming and asking questions about her to you in here. Well, she can make as much fun as she wants. And if she's so intelligent and have already done all these research and knows about it, yeah, then she can make fun. But if she doesn't, then she's just being funny. None of us know everything, so it's always good to seek more knowledge to help us negotiate life with all its challenges. I bet you she has lots of questions, but usually this is how it is. When people ask questions, the others who have the same question or similar question or other questions in their mind, but they're lazy or they don't want to, kind of, they think, oh, maybe that's not a good question. Maybe I shouldn't ask because that means I don't know. So many don't ask questions in classroom or any setting because they don't want others to think that, oh, they're asking questions. That means they're not so smart or they don't know. Or maybe somebody else knows the answer. So when I ask it, that means I don't know. They know more than I do. All these immaturities takes them away from asking a question and learning a thing or two. I used to ask lots of questions in the class, especially what was it? Math or something like that. I wanted to learn it, and unless I asked question, I wouldn't learn it. So don't be discouraged by people. Do what you got to do. Vascular Potato says, I recently started riding a motorcycle and crashed today. Yeah, well, I'm not injured. Oh, thank God. Okay. But the bike is a little, little hurt. Yeah. The problem with bike is if you don't hit somebody's, and if somebody else, possibly a bad driver, hits you, that's gonna make a big dent on, your situation, because on motorcycle you're not really protected. It's all about. It's like a Disney ride. You got to get away from problem because everybody else is a problem. But not everybody drives good, so you might have to watch others how they drive. Says, my question is, I have this fear of riding the bike. How can I get rid of it? Well, riding a bike is fearful sometimes because if it's riding somewhere that there are no cars, you wouldn't be afraid. It's not the bike that you're afraid; it's other people's driving that you're afraid. And where is it that you're driving, Vascular Potato? Oh, you got to give me your credentials first. Did you? Let me see. Oh yeah, Vascular Potato, Assam. Okay, that's not a great place to ride bike, because if you're riding in like European countries or North American countries, there is maybe a little better chance to not get hurt so many times, because people tend to think, at least it looks that way, to pay more attention to right of way and proper, driving their car and watching for the cyclists and motorcycle and all that. Of course, not all do. There's still assholes around that they endanger the lives of the bicycles and motorcycle uh, drivers. But in countries like Iran and India and Pakistan and Assam and all this, anything goes. People hardly pay attention to the red light or green light. They weave off in front of each other just to get going, and whoever can get more of a distance in the shortest amount of time supposed to mean he's a better driver, even though he's just ignoring all the rules and driving laws. So I wouldn't blame you, because it's a risky business, riding bike anywhere, let alone in Assam, like that neck of the wood. India, Pakistan, Iran, you know, most third world nations, third or second, still not so good. And all right, but I guess you got to get a good, trainer who knows the laws and rules and tricks of driving in that neck of the wood, because here is different than there. And then you get on the bike and start going short distances until you forget about that and see every short distance is no incident, and pay attention to the rules and the law and the right of way. Even though the others are not riding well, driving well, you should watch for their behavior as well, anticipate where that car is going to go and how it's going to affect your way and so on. And it's it's something you got to be a little bit more vigilant about it. And Vascular says, exactly. Car in front of me stopped suddenly and I couldn't stop. The trick for that is always leave about pretty much 2 car length distance between you and the car in front of you. I know it's not possible in that neck of the woods. Everybody's going bumper to bumper. But if it's bumper to bumper, at least you're not going fast. And if somebody stops, you know that you can stop because you're not going fast. But if you're going at the traffic speed, then make sure your distance between you and the car in front is at least 2 car length. At least. Hmm? And if it's nighttime, 5 car lengths, because it's different visibility and all that. Maheswari, guys, don't forget the protocol. I got to know how old you are. So unless I've got gender, age, and where you're tuning in from, I won't. I will pass to the next question. So Maheswari, I need that information before I get back to your question. Age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Vascular ptosis. Okay, we did that. Solmaz says 28, male, Kuwait. Kuwait says, I have very strong motivation to start a YouTube channel regarding life and intellectual talks. I wonder what's your motivation behind it, Mehran, if you don't mind sharing your journey. I have shared it before. When I got divorced, I felt there's a need to know how properly and civilly interact with your ex, and especially if you have a child, how the two need to interact with each other in front of the child, or even if the child is not there, in order to create that positive environment for the proper upbringing and keeping the family together, even though they're separated. And they should need to adhere to certain rules that would best serve the child. And that should be the first and foremost focus of the journey after divorce. And so I made a couple of videos, and then at the time, my son was going through a breakup with his girlfriend, and so we were talking about that, and he told me that the stuff that you're telling me is very helpful. So I figured there must be lots of other people like me who got divorced or separated, and then also like my son who have broken up with their girlfriends, and so therefore there could be a use for something. And then of course I started researching the movement of the psyche and creation of thought and consciousness and fear, desire, ego, and understanding better. In addition to my training in university about in martial arts, meditation, relationship between mind and body, coordination, and so on, and understanding the psyche in that um, in that description. And then I enhanced my learning through studying of the masters of 100 years ago in regards to movement of the psyche, namely Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti. But that all came like a year or so after I started the uh, channel. And then, of course, I expanded into neuroscience and neurosurgery, and understanding many other psychological roots, and quantum physics and psychological discussions between the masters and so on. So, 10 years later, I am more enhanced. And of course, plus my experience in life and things that I've written, things that I've noted, things that I've made notes of, my ponderings over the past, I don't know, 50, 60, 50 years of my adult, uh, you know, life, or 45 years of adult life. So the combination of whole studies and whole research and so on, and experiences in life and books I wrote and all that, research for that, teachings here and there, the motivation continues, which would be learning more and sharing it with the ones who are interested to learn. And then, of course, having a site that people can make an appointment. That would be the economic part of it, that there would be a fee involved. And then this would be the free part of it, which would be helpful to the ones who can't afford to talk to me privately as much as possibly we can. So it's a good combination. And for me, gives me a kick out. I get a kick out of it when I wake up in the morning. I see literally tens of thank you and appreciation emails and how it has helped their lives and so on. And it puts a smile on my face that I'm doing something. I'm doing something, and somebody is, I'm sharing some knowledge with someone who didn't have that opportunity, and it helps them in the tough times that they may be going through. And then, of course, I expanded to research on OCD and subsets of OCD and so on. Now we have a pretty good source of information to whatever I can do. So, in other words, helping people genuinely should be your motivation. Otherwise, if it's just one, economic is important. You got to make money off of it eventually. But if it's only that, it's not going to be helpful, because then you'll just cater it to that, and you lose that whole main reason why you want to do this. So it has to be a good combination, good balance. All right. We have Val says, no problem. I understand. Says, my question was, should I tell my family I have OCD? But I already told them and it didn't go well. They kept saying, don't self diagnose yourself and you can't be your own doctor. Well, depends on what you're dealing with, really. And they mean well. Because they don't know much about OCD, they have not researched, they have not studied. They think because they don't know, then you don't know either. So they're encouraging you to kind of get help from some professional and all that. They mean well. But you know what you need to do. If you need to talk to a psychologist, go talk to a psychologist who's specializing in OCD, not regular psychologists, and research on it. And if you think, no, you got it under control, then you got it. But the fact that you told them it's okay, it's great, it's no problem, it's good actually. It's good that they know what you're going through. And if they, maybe you want to talk to or consider if you're not if you have not brought balance to the whole situation for you in your understanding, maybe you want to have a visit with the psychologist. Say, yeah, I did, and they said this or that or whatever. As much information as you want to share, you don't have to share everything with them. Just the fact that they know you're going through some kind of a challenge, that you're dealing with it through knowledge and understanding. Maheshwari says, Mr. Meron, please help me, sir. I'm new to this channel. Yeah, no problems. Just tell me what is your age and which country you're watching these from. Maheshwari, he says, I'm 21 years old, male, straight. I'm from India. Okay. And so what's your question? Let me go back to your question. It says, as a HOCD sufferer, how to handle homosexuals in workplace? You handle them just like you handle any other friend of yours. You say hello and that's it. But if they are um, mm, having certain connotation or in their discussion or um, communication with you, you find it's out of line. You make it clear to them that, look, um, I'm a heterosexual and I don't have any interest as your interest might be. So we can interact and be friends, but I want you to respect um, my interests as I respect yours. That's it. But if you're saying just because they are homosexual and you know they are, but you know you're not, but you get some kind of anxiety and so on, then you got to educate yourself on what HOCD is, how it behaves, and you understand that the brain having a malfunction in the signaling system and the thoughts and intrusive thoughts, where the roots of it comes from, anxiety and so on. And then you will be able to have enough knowledge, which that is already provided for you on this channel. Few hundred videos, different length on HOCD, and the links for videos talking about HOCD in length from famous psychologists and psychotherapists specializing in OCD and subsets of OCD, including HOCD, like Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner, Dr. Schwartz. These are all well known around the world, and you can. I put the links under my videos that is talking about HOCD. Many of them, at least in the playlist, there are two playlists: intrusive, transient, OCD, HOCD, Negative thoughts is one playlist, and the other one is intrusive OCD, HOCD short videos. So we can watch them, and underneath any of those videos in those playlists, there's a link for the psychologists that I have named, just named a few minutes ago, and you'll get to learn more and more about it, and then you'll see that this is a disorder that many of us get, and then by education you rewire your brain through neuroplasticity, and it learns how to function as it's supposed to, and even if it doesn't, keeps breaking down, you always know what it is and you always know how to manage it, and then it's not a problem anymore. Mm. Ah, well, continuous is, they said, keep saying don't self-diagnose yourself and you can't be your own doctor, blah blah blah. It left me feeling embarrassed, ashamed, and alone, more stress, and so on. Well, you already told them. Now, there's no reason to tell them again. So you just do your own thing and do your own investigation, do your own studies. And if you need to talk to a psychologist, go talk to a psychologist. If you don't and you're handling it, then continue on. Don't worry about what these people say. People who don't know about OCD, they don't take it seriously. They don't understand what it is. And they want to give advice when they don't even know how it works, what it is, and so on. So you said it, and that's fine. The rest of it, don't worry about it. And what shame? Those people who, family members who gave you this kind of a reaction, they've got lots of other problems themselves up in their psyche, because we're all human beings and no psyche is perfect. So don't worry. They've got other problems. They might even have OCD and subsets of OCD, and they're not saying it because they think, oh, I shouldn't say it, instead of learning it and dealing with it. They're just hiding it. Well, says, most of my life, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know I needed help. Yeah, we all do. Education, learning. So, no worries. Now you can do that. Maheshwari says, the problem with my HOCD is I'm not getting anxious the way I used to get anxious. Well, because your system understands it's just baloney. Why should I get anxious? Okay, everything, many things exist in this world. So I come to know of it. All right, you get anxious because you associate that idea, the word that comes to mind about an inclusion, a conclusion, a title, a label that is given to what it is that comes to your mind, and then you panic because there's a conclusion, instead of just observing. Okay, observe. A thought came to your mind. Okay, thought came to mind. That doesn't describe me. A thought can come in, thousand different kind of thoughts. All could be intrusive and obnoxious to my lifestyle, but it's a thought. Brain makes thoughts. What thought brain makes doesn't describe me. It has nothing to do with me. Brain is an independent machine. It makes thoughts, but what it makes is independent of me. I'm oblivious to it. It can make whatever it wants, but it's not describing me. I use the apparatus of the brain and I use it to make thoughts for my purposes. But the brain itself uses the apparatus of the brain to make thoughts too. Those thoughts are not my thoughts. So when a thought comes to my mind that is not of my interest, it's not my thoughts. It's brain's thoughts, and I don't give a damn about it. 80, 90,000 thoughts a day are made by the brain, and none of them are relevant to me. What is not relevant to your values, it's irrelevant to you. So you let them go. Let the thoughts come and go, and say, okay, yeah, well, that's nasty. Okay, thank you very much. That's OCD. That's not me. I've explained it in detail how you deal with this. So watch those videos, because this will be like 2 hours time of that. Salum says, Miran, how long can possibly grief or relationship loss mourning can last? As long as you let it. You see, the thing is, you think it's a sin if you stop mourning. You think, oh, it's a disrespect to what I love. And what I love, I have to keep it going. So she will know in the other, I don't know, world or whatever, that I am in love with her. The idea of loving someone, you're trying to protect it. Fuck that. What are you talking about? Drop it. She's not with you. If she can do it, you can do it. You don't have to be loyal to the idea that I used to love her, that we used to be together. Big deal. You don't have to be loyal to that. Nothing happens. It's not like you're saying, oh, I used to love it. Then how can I say I don't love what I used to love? Oh, you can't. Just say it and go on. Live your life. LMQ95 says, hello, I'm male 19 from the USA. Hello there. Thank you for joining us. All right, guys. I'm here another 20 minutes, and that would be it for us tonight. A little bit more kombucha while I'm waiting. Wow. What a drink. Check this out. I don't know what the brand is. I guess it's Synergy. That's what it is. Synergy. Original. Organic and unpasteurized. Okay. Ingredients: water, kombucha culture, yeast, bacteria, cultures, kiwi juice. Oh, black tea. Green tea. Wow. I don't have any more reaction, facial reaction. So I'm glad that the ingredients finished. There are only a few things. Pretty wholesome. Water, kombucha culture, which is yeast, bacteria culture, kiwi juice, and then black tea and green tea. Done. Right on. Uh, LMQ says, I cannot stay for the rest of this, but this helped a lot. When is the next live stream? LMQ, usually the live streams are on Saturday at 1 p.m. Vancouver time and sometimes in the evening. But that's the only regular scheduled one. Tonight and other nights, maybe I throw in an hour, half an hour here and there. Depends on my schedule and my availability. And tonight, before I go for my usual 10, 11K walk, which I would like not to go tonight because I feel like, ooh, like, one of those people coming down with some kind of a, I don't know, cold or something, little heavy headache, warm. But every time I go, like it's been like that for the past 2, 3 nights, every time I go, then after that I go to the gym, I feel better and strong and no problems. But maybe I should increase my sleep. So anyhow, I'll go tonight, and if I die, I die. All right. So LMQ says, okay, thanks. Thank you. You're quite welcome. So we had an election here in Canada just a couple of days ago, and we ended up with the same minority government as we had before. So um, rolling on. Oh my goodness, rolling on is here. Says hello, Meran. Hope you're doing well. Came here to like and show support. Keep up the good work, great work. Thank you very much for your gesture, kind gesture, and positive gesture. I appreciate you taking a moment and saying hello. Hope all is well with you and you're keeping safe and healthy. Well, guys, I don't see any more questions, and I think at this point we can say we had we had a run at it tonight. So I'll just take a moment and relax, and then I'll get ready to go for my walk. And I feel like I'm really maybe coming down with something. I don't know. Feel run down, but and Emmanuel says, "Don't forget my question." Where's your question, Emmanuel? I didn't even see it. Ah, there it is. How is it that I miss your questions every time? Thomas SK says, "Hello, master." No, master. M40 UK. Hello, Thomas. Good to see you, dear. And we have Emmanuel says, "Do you believe that a mountain can be sacred or have spiritual powers? Since you know Hawaii very well, you might know that Mauna Kea is considered sacred." I don't know. You can consider anything sacred as long as you create that kind of a feeling or belief in your brain. We believe in many things as being one thing or another without any evidence, but we choose that because it brings certain kind of psychological security. Now, whether it's correct or not doesn't matter, but there are three things involved in the equation of religiosity. That means something that you believe in it without any evidence necessary. And that's the gene, from the gene standpoint, it's the VMAT2, VMAT2, I believe that's the genome identification. And then there is all the neurons in the prefrontal cortex and the real estate and the um, temporal lobes, and that creates the landscape of the neurons that are involved. And the third thing are the neurotransmitters, such as serotonin and dopamine. But in this particular study, serotonin was mentioned, that these three should be involved and are involved when we believe in something, which it becomes a belief, but there is no real evidence to it. We just choose it to be it. And many people believe in many things without any particular um, evidence or proof, and we do that often. And many of them are therapeutical, some of them are real, some of them are not. But regardless, but for me, like Hawaii is the whole Hawaii is sacred. I just love that place. um okay, guys, what else do we have here? Carol Ong Lee Wei, you've been here before, haven't you? um Says female, 36, from Malaysia. And hello, Carol. Or Coral, not Carol. It's Coral Only Way. And glad you could join us, and thank you for that. And Val says, Meron, I'm drinking David's tea. Ah, are you now? Oat milk tea. Ah, chef's kiss. Well, if the chef is a girl, I'll take it. I haven't had that tea, but David's tea, I don't know if they're still here across my street, their branch, or not, or they're just online. Last I'm not sure if they're still here or not, but they were always just across the street in the open space mall, the village mall. Meiko Assis says, say hello to Brazil. Hello, Brazil! Viva Brazil! And especially salute to Brazilians, strong and determined people with their um, energy, trying to protect their rights and freedom. And I salute that. So now, what else do we have here? We have another 15 minutes, maybe. Mayoko says, thanks, man. You're welcome. My pleasure. All the best to you all. All the best to us all everywhere, because the world's gone crazy. Sneeze coming. Don't be afraid. I sneeze loud. But I think the sneeze got scared of my own announcement of the sneeze coming because it heard that it's going to be loud, so it just pulled back. And Hoi Dong says, what is your advice for someone who's trying to get over an addiction? First of all, understand why you want to stop it, which means to focus on the hazards of what it does to your system, cellular level, organs, their functions, and then you go further, understand how detrimental and important the health of every component of your body, your organs are in keeping you strong to be able to enjoy the things that you want to enjoy. But yet the thing that you're getting certain pleasures from it is actually to the cost of destruction of your organs that keeps you healthy in order to enjoy any pleasure. So just because a pleasure, something that makes you feel good, that doesn't mean it's good for you. You have to make sure what makes you feel good is also good for you. Otherwise, something makes you feel good through pleasure, but it's going to tear up your organs piece by piece from inside, then soon enough, eventually, you don't even have that ability to enjoy the pleasure that this thing that is destroying you gives you anyhow. So if you focus on this, you'll say, okay, what I'm doing, this addiction, maybe makes me feel good, gives me pleasure, but it's actually killing me piece by piece without me noticing it because I'm getting pleasure from it. I can't stop it because it makes me feel good, but that feeling good is also destroying me. So eventually, I won't even be able to enjoy this thing that itself is killing me. So your motivation would be to protect your organs and to protect your being, your persona, so you can enjoy so many other things that is a different kind of pleasure than this one, but it's not going to harm you. So it is not important that something makes you feel good, gives you pleasure. It's important if that pleasure and what makes you feel good is also good for you, okay, health-wise. So if that would be your motivation, you will have not a problem, because your survival and who you are, your life, is more important than anything else, even pleasure. You cannot sell who you are, what you are, your health to a pleasure, because if this health is not there, the pleasure would not even exist. Everything around you in your world is there because you're there. If you're not there, none of that matters. So the prime directive, number one duty of us, is to survive, to take care of ourselves. So if that thing is detrimental and hazardous to your survival and health, that got to go. That's bottom line. That's motivation, because that's no different than someone is trying to kill you, whether it's by a gun or by a smile but cutting your neck. Still gonna do the same thing. And the ones that make you feel good are the ones that are smiling at you, but they're still doing the same job. Don't allow it, because your first primary duty in life is to protect your life. you know. So I hope that helps out. Coral says, I feel nervous recently because the company that I went for interview have no any feedback for a week. They're going through my background check. Yeah, you'll get it. Don't worry about it. But because I am not PR in Australia, I'm afraid I might not get the job. Well, you don't get it, it's not the end of the world. You try something else. Well, right now, nothing seems to be balanced anywhere, including or especially Australia. So you think it twice before you want to accept any position. At least make sure that your personal rights are respected as much as you can. That country's gone berserk. Um, Val says, thank you for your help. My pleasure. Hai Dong says, thank you. You're quite welcome. Guys, it's about 50 minutes, and I think we don't have any more questions. So perhaps it's time for me to say, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to talk to you again, maybe spontaneously one more, maybe tomorrow night or night after. But if not, I look forward to talk to you on Saturday, 1 p.m. Vancouver time. Figure out when it is wherever you are. And in the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.